Bring that ear all the way in. Bring that ear all the way in. You know I already got something to say. Here lies a woman we gathered to honor and celebrate the remarkable life of our beautiful friend, who is an amazing daughter, sister, friend, hairstylist, and a chef by heart, as we all know she loved to eat. She is the one and only Toya Knowles. As we reflect on her journey, we are reminded of the profound impact she had on all who knew her professionally and personally. Toya Knowles was more than just a hairstylist. She was a beacon of light, love, talent, and resilience. With her scissors as her baton and her salon as her canvas, she transformed not only hair, but also hearts. Her skillful hands worked magic, creating masterpieces that left us feeling beautiful from the inside out. Toya believed in touching the hearts and souls of anyone that was in her presence and that sat in her chair. But it wasn't just her talent that she set apart, it was her unwavering faith and determination. Through the highs and lows, Toya trusted in God and knew that no matter what challenges she faced, she would emerge in victory. As we bid farewell to our one and only Toya Knowles, aka Short Hair Guru, let us take comfort in knowing that she is now in the loving embrace of the one she trusted. Okay, now do this with me, because you know she would have loved this. Come on, y'all, do it with me. Peace, love, and hair grease.
Oh, it's that time, y'all. Transformation Tuesday. We in this thing. Y'all ready? It's your girl, Kai Smith, y'all, also known as your hair loss advocate, the founder of the American Academy of Hair and Scalp Diseases, where we certify beauty professionals to be functional trichologists. Yes, yes, yes. It is Transformation Tuesday, and we are up in this thing with a hot topic tonight. We're going to be talking about how you're going to balance new beginnings and old habits. Here's the thing. I know for me, as a person who is always seeking the next level, right? That sometimes as we go through the cycles of each season, we're learning that pretty much things work in a cycle, right? And sometimes we don't understand what to release and what to hold on to. This can cause us to be stagnant. This can cause us to live in an expired season, staying longer than what we should stay, which keeps us out of grace when we do that. So keeping our ear so that we can hear what God is saying, we can discern his word from the chaos and all of the chatter that goes on in the back of our minds is essential. So we want to talk to you tonight about how to balance new beginnings and old habits, how to trade some of those things off. This is coming in new. I got to trade this old habit for it. How do you manage that? Is there a balancing act? Is it really a such thing as that? How are the greats, the GOATs, actually continuing to go from success to success? We want to talk to you guys about that tonight. And I'm so excited because I have my girl, Micheline Barber, in this thing with me tonight. And I'm so doggone excited because whenever we have a conversation, it's like we tag teaming. Just tag teaming, bouncing off of each other during our conversation. So my prayer is that you just come on in this room with us tonight. You leave your mind open. You don't allow any distractions to come in between you, but you keep your ear to hear the things that we have to say. And where it resonates, latch on to it. Chew up the meat, spit out the bones. But I promise you, we're going to be dropping a whole lot of meat on your plate tonight. And some of you might need some digestive enzymes in order to be able to break that thing down, to be able to absorb it in its smallest molecular structure so that you can use it. But whatever you do, invite a friend, because Sharing is caring, and we don't want to grow alone. We want to grow together. So I need you to share this live out tonight as we're inviting you guys on in. But if this is your first time joining me, you're in for a treat. I want you to put your oxygen mask on because we're about to take flight. And sometimes when we take flight, that air can get a little bit thin up there. And you might need to put your oxygen mask on, but make sure you put yours on first because it might get a little turbulent, but I promise it'll level out, it'll sink in, and you're going to enjoy the ride. And if you're catching me on the replay, welcome into this space. We invite you in. This is a safe space to come and learn, to come and transform so that you can go out into the world and be all that God has called you to be in the space of beauty. And if you happen not to be a beautypreneur, you can still go out there and be great in your sphere of influence, right? So I want to play this video just to give a soft intro to this magnificent, all this fabulousness that's about to come onto this stage in just a minute. I want to play this video just so that you can get an understanding of who you're going to be talking to tonight. So let's roll that video.
Pioneer. She is a front runner.
Who you pouring into and who you need to pour into.
Lover, God, and giver.
You made it anyway. Focus on that, not the rest of the stuff. Because y'all gonna be brand new. You understand that? Are y'all with me? Pour into me, D. I don't want you to overflow. Pour into me. I still see clearly, but I still see what? Flaws. Something wrong with every single one of us. I'm standing here as a witness, something wrong with all of us. Something that we got to change. Pouring out. Tell the people and nobody will. Pour back in. Picture of what you want in life is in front of you. Watch who pours inside of you. Because it may be here to serve you, but it may be here to drown you and understand the rules of water.
All right. Y'all see all that fire she got? All that knowledge that she's pouring out? That's decades of experience in the beauty industry. That's going from success to success. But we can't forget the failures because without those, there is no success, right? So I want to welcome to the stage right now, Miss Micheline Barber. How
we doing, sis?
Come on, all that fineness over there.
Super excited, super excited.
Yes.
Listen, it's gonna be on and popping tonight. I know it. So you told people to go ahead and get their life jackets. I'm telling them to go ahead and get your oxygen mask, get your seat belts, whatever you need to do, but get it because I'm telling you, tighten it up. Don't have it be loose. I mean it tight, okay?
Listen, and then once we land, you might need to get a tow truck if you get stuck in that ditch. But believe me, somebody gonna come to rescue you. So don't fret. Get ready for the ride because we got a lot to talk about tonight. Listen, Mitch, you are always doing something, right? Every time I look on my timeline, you here, you there. You getting ready to go to Bonner Brothers. You getting ready for your thing. You come to do my thing. Like you did Kia's thing. Like you just rolling. You're everywhere, right? Because one thing is for sure, is something to be said when you have a word in you that is going to help other people stretch. And it's like, when we're going through our seasons of quietness and, you know, you're thinking about some things because God has you in a space and then you come out and it's like, I got something to say. And I can't be quiet about this thing because other people need to hear this because people have this, I don't know why we think this. I've been guilty of this also until I started experiencing different successes and people started looking to me as a thought leader. I used to think this also that your life looked good from up there. So you couldn't possibly be, you know, going through anything. Like, you know how to handle everything that's thrown your way. What do you say to people who are aspiring to be great like you when you're at these different events speaking? What are you saying to people that look to you as this untouchable force that just don't experience issues because they see you show up with courage?
Well, let me say this, Kai. The biggest thing that every time I go somewhere, somebody needs to hear what I have to say. If it's one person, that's why we have that model, impact the minds of millions one at a time. If we could change the mind of one person, then it trickles down and become a fake. Almost like when you was younger and they played that little secret game, right? By the time you whispered in somebody's ear, it went around the room, and by the time you get it back, it changed. But the thing is, it could have changed by the time, but at least it hit something. And at least a whisper, something came through that room where it was ignited. And maybe that person would ask, now, what did you say? But the whole part of that game was everybody's afraid to ask because you couldn't repeat yourself, right? Mm-hmm. The game was you had to hear it, or you had to think or ask or imagine what they could have said. And by the time you got back, they were like, that's not what I said. Mm-hmm. So when you're in front of somebody, regardless of how many times you show up, somebody gonna hear it the first time, and then by the time they get around that room, somebody may miss it, but say it again so that they get it. So I'm always a person that believes in giving 100% every time. There's no doubt about it. If you give 50%, as this song say, if I give you 50, I don't want 0 back. I want 50% back or 100% back. So whenever you're showing up in a space, whatever space may be, I don't care if it's church, I don't care if it's, educated on a platform, if it's going to a brunch, show up your 100% authentic way. And that way people know you are the same. This Mitch, that she's been this way forever. And that's a lot of times what people say about me. This is me. Take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? I changed one time in my life, and I promise myself I'll never do that again.
Yeah, that's good stuff, because people think when I get up and I'm like, you know what, I just do it anyway. Teeth chattering, knees knocking, I'm just gonna get up there and I'm gonna do it. If God called me to it, he's gonna see me through it. That doesn't mean that I'm not gonna have challenges. That doesn't mean that there won't be pitfalls. That means that he's building me and putting everything in me so that next person I'm asking him to create in me, that next level, all of those obstacles is what's actually getting me there to be able to experience that higher level. And so it's just baffling to me now that I'm in that space of this thought leader, this influencer, that now I'm looked at as, oh, you too, Kai? Absolutely, me too. Absolutely. Because people only want to gloat in the success, but they never want to talk about their fears. They never want to talk about their inadequacies. They never want to talk about, how they're afraid to move. They just wake up, hop on their social media platforms, and they start talking about the next move. But how long did it take you to get up the courage to introduce yourself as this next thing, to introduce that next product, to introduce that next service? How long did it take to circle the drain before you finally said enough is enough? Or somebody told you, why do you keep sleeping on yourself?
Yes.
Like, you are the bomb.com and you just keep sleeping on yourself, because the truth of the matter is a lot of us sleep on ourselves. I'm sometimes asleep on myself because all I see is that my head is down and I'm fighting for that next level. I don't see all that I am becoming in the process, because I feel all that I am shedding in order to become that higher person within myself. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's
I think the thing too is that, Kai, exactly what you're saying is people have a fear of sharing. They have a fear of telling people that they failed. They have a fear of telling people that they have fear. And whenever you open that conversation up, you'll be like, oh, you felt that same way too? Oh, I did that too. And that's where we actually have an unbalance, because we are too afraid to tell somebody we failed, or it's a misunderstanding, or I'm going through this and I need this help. We don't want to ask for help.
Yeah. That's, for some it's ego, for some it's pride. It just depends on which one you're battling. For me, in all transparency and vulnerability, for me, it's always been ego. I understand what that is, but it took a lot of counseling in therapy for me to understand that thing that blocks me is ego. But ego is something that is on my bloodline, that comes from my family. That's something that has been there. And a lot of times we don't understand the invisible things that we're fighting, those things that keep showing up. And you're like, I don't even know what this is. I don't even recognize this. What is this? Is that the thing that keeps showing up and it's an obstacle? And so for me, I learned that it was ego. And so now that I'm aware of my ego. And ego is actually a false sense of who you've created yourself to be to protect you from the world.
Yes.
When I recognized that I was operating in my ego, now I have to check in with Kai.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do a check-in with Kai as though Kai is a completely separate person. My higher self, now with the amount of self-awareness that I have, and I got that skill set because I was taught that by my therapist, the skill set to be able to tap into yourself so that you understand yourself, that you're aware of yourself. So now I can stop and say, that don't feel right. That energy right there that you bringing forth, Kai, don't feel right. That feels like ego. Where do you feel inadequate, Kai? Why do you feel like your ego has to be the one that shows up for you in this space? There's a level of inadequacy here where you feel more comfortable showing up in your ego than you do in your authentic self. So that is a level of awareness that I have now. And it took years to get that and to be able to keep it and to say, hold on, check that at the front door, because that's not even the right energy. This is your ego here.
And so I'm gonna say a little bit of both for me. There's a little bit of ego and a little bit of pride. When I say that, when you come from a situation where you're always trying to show that you can do things, you're always trying to prove yourself. When proving yourself come pride, right? And you don't realize that you get that imbalancement because you're trying to, I can do this, and when someone questions you, or when someone doubting you, or someone downing you, then that's that pride part. The pride where this brick wall gonna hurt, but you know what? I can go through it because my pride don't want you to know that I can't go through it, right? So it's just a balance of where you are in your life, because it can teeter, so it doesn't matter about age, but it matters about, where you are in your spirit life at that time, that you possibly could be going through both your ego and your pride, because we don't want nobody to know what we don't know. Then we over here saying, how are we not equal to someone else? And when we try to balance that and we're looking at stuff, then social media can make you that way. Social media can mess with your ego and your pride, because you're looking at, oh, this person here got it going on and they making all this money. But the reality is they may be flossing and flying and you don't even know, under the radar, right? You got to realize what is authentically you. And sometimes you got to be able to unplug where you are and say, let me focus on me. There's nothing wrong with resetting yourself. And we have an issue with the reset button. Every time you ever had a computer, what they tell you to do, or your TV, what they tell you to do, go in the back, unplug it for a couple of seconds and plug it back in. And you're like, that's all I need to do. I didn't need to call a technician. I didn't need to call. You just needed to sit back and reset yourself and say, listen, this is what I've been doing to myself. Sometimes it's not other people, because like we talked earlier, sometimes there's so many people walking around mad at you and you sleep. You don't even know they're mad until you have a conversation about it. And then you say, you know what, let me reset this and tell you what was going on in my life. Because sometimes people don't understand, like you and I, we talk about things that they don't know where you are at a point in your life. They just assume that everything is elevation when they don't understand that you at a plateau situation. You're standing still and nobody sees you, and you're trying to hide and you're trying to duck and you're trying to laugh, but you crying, you suffering in silence. You under the covers like, Lord, let this day be over. I'm a witness.
Yes.
I'm a witness. I'm standing here letting you know I'm a witness to that. That's me. That was me.
And that's good, because people always think that when they see what they deem as success, when they see that climbing on a platform, because they see you continuing to show up, they don't know that you might actually be in a space of plateau in that moment, but that looks like success to them, because everybody's success looks different. What's success for me is different than what you deem as success, because everybody's values are different.
And even tonight, even tonight live, there's somebody who has talked to you about this within the last week, last two, that you need to tag and say, hey, I think you need to tune in, because this is a great conversation. It's not about cuticles on hair, but this is about what we're doing with the 3 layers of our life. Right.
Yes. Come on now with the 3 layers.
Right. What we're doing with our life, that is unbalancement. Right. People think that you always need to be right. They think you always need to be on, like that light that be I'll never forget. One time you could tell on Facebook and Messenger when people was on.
Yeah,
Because the green light was on, right? So you waiting to see when they on, right? You trying to see what they go. So you're lurking and leaking when the whole time you don't understand that you're spilling out, right? Everything that was inside of you, you spilling out, and hurt people hurt people. That's just to be honest with you. And if you're in the situation right now where you're saying, I need to, get from around some people because they stopping me from growing and they stopping me from learning, and you need to reset and unplug them and plug into another source. Because I know on everybody's wall, they got a wall in their house that just don't work. Right? You can be like, it don't work on this wall, but let me plug it in on here. Well, something is not connecting right here, and you need to change locations. Pivot yourself out of that situation into something new, and that's what we have a problem with.
That's what I think that happens in our chair, as hairstylists. Let's connect that to the hairstyling chair. We think that if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? I don't need a new class. I don't need this. I don't need that because what? Because it's not broke. My money's still flowing. I'm not hurting for nothing. My client's still showing up. I don't need to learn that because my clients get this and this. You're boxing yourself in because the idea is to continue growing. No matter how seasoned you are in this business, there's always an innovative technique, an innovative product. There's always something that keeps you growing. Let's just say, if you get into the space because you went for the technique or you went for, the class, they were offering something at the class, you might find that it might spark your attention in a different area. And you might network, you might learn that you're going to meet somebody that might be in the space where maybe you needed finances, but maybe it was someone there that can support you in the finances because you got out and you networked. But we have to continue to grow. I think we become stagnant. And then here's what I really want to hear what you got to say on this one, Mitch. It's because what I've recognized for myself, I know how to shift in it now, but there was many years when I didn't know how to shift this, right? The title was Balance New Beginnings and Old Habits, right? It's like, God, I'm praying for this, Lord, I want to do this. I want to transition. I want to grow here. And how can you expand my territory? The prayer, Jabez, and all of the good stuff, right? And so then when God is saying, I'm going to be silent, and you start saying, God, I'm asking you, but you ain't saying nothing. And God is saying, I ain't saying nothing because you want me to give you everything without you budging. You too full of everything else that you got going on. I don't have any room. Now, I'm going to get real specific. Because because I don't want to be out here ambiguous, talking broad and all this. I want to speak to the thing because this is probably somebody else, right? Now, first thing is this. When I was transitioning into retirement, right? I knew that I was building something. I knew I was building my organization, AHSD, and what the end goal was, but I didn't have a date stamp on my retirement. I was just getting my exit strategy together. I'm just working and doing a thing. I wasn't saying 2020 was going to be the end for me behind the chair, right? Because first of all, I worked my entire life from the time I was 17 to build what I had in 2020, right? I was 46 years old in 2020. So I worked from 17 to 46 to get what I had, right? And so I connected my identity with who I had become in the beauty industry. And I was a highly sought after cosmetologist, banging out short haircuts, color, and the like. And I didn't want for anything. This industry has afforded me everything that I have. I've been able to get it because I worked hard and invested in myself to get it, right? So fast forward to 2020, right? I'm grinding it out. I'm working in my whiteboard space. For those of you who don't know, whiteboard space is that space that you're working in the dark that nobody else knows. That's your next thing. So I am working in my white space quiet because white space is actually a secret space until you decide to divulge it. Some of y'all on social media putting y'all white space on social media and wondering why God can't do nothing with it because you're speaking on it too fast when it's supposed to be secret. Y'all putting it all out there, on the net, right? So anyway, now I'm doing all of this. COVID hits. I can't work behind a chair, but the rest of my businesses are still flowing, right? Because I have my virtual hair loss business. I have, American Academy of Hair and Scalp Diseases. And so it's still flowing because those things are virtual. I wasn't really ready to give up the chair yet, right? So I got 3 different streams of income coming in from beauty, right? So a third of my income is shut down when we go into COVID. The other 2/3 are still working, right? Now, I will say, because I don't typically share numbers, but I want to share this so that you can understand the magnitude of what I'm getting ready to say. When God told me to release that chair, there was a whole situation behind releasing the chair. But up to getting to the point of figuring out it was time to release, I'm praying to God, oh Lord, I want to transition into working full time in trichology. I don't want to style hair anymore. I want my business to turn into fully serving trichology clients. And this is the way I see my clinic, and this and that and the third. This was early on, right? That I'm praying and I'm asking. Yet I'm still booking my days out for the hours that I say I'm available to do hair. I was booking them out still. And God is saying, daughter, you say you want to grow your trichology business, but I don't have no room to put no trichology clients because you keep stacking up all your hairstyling clients because you become robotic, you become comfortable, that's become safe. So you just, what they call you putting them in the space. If they call you filling in the blank spaces, right? Because you making your money, right? But you asking me to grow your other business over here that actually is going to cause you to work less but make more, because you make more per hour over here in this trichology than you do over here inside of your cosmetology business, right? But so you working hard, and you working hard, and you asking me to expand your territory. Listen, I can't do it if you keep placing these people in these slots. I need you to free up some of this. But Lord, that means I'm going to have to not make the money, and I'm going to have to work on faith that you going to fill in the spot. But I don't know, because ain't nobody calling, or whatever on it yet. So I'm just going to not make the money that I've been making so that I wait for these people to call. So this is how you balance new beginnings with old habits, right? So I'm showing y'all something. So come along with me, please, because I'm showing you something right now, right?
I got to put my lipstick on because I got to put my lip on because this is getting ready to get real juicy. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm just telling y'all the real, because y'all think Kai just be over here shining and winning, but I be over here fighting and praying, right? So at the end of the day, I'm asking God, give it to me, God, expand my territory. I'm good. I got a gifting. I want to serve these women and I want to build my business. Yeah, but you still over here slaying these short haircuts and all this color too, because it's easy. You could do it with your eyes closed and that's it, right? So now I'm like, okay, Lord, I got the word. So let me take a day and transition and only do trichology people on this day. Let me just move everybody and say, this day I got trichology clients only. If I ain't got no trichology clients that's booking, then this day is IPA. And IPA is an acronym for income producing activity. That means I'm going to do something that's going to produce money for my business later on in the future. So now I got my CEO hat on, the visionary. I ain't the worker that day, right? If it ain't until I get some people booking and filling up those slots. I don't need that many to fill it up. To get it, I probably need 2 trichology clients in comparison to 8 clients that I would do on my books for the one day. So it's not rocket science, right? So I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. Let me go ahead. Let me get this together. Got it together, right? So I'm sharing that because here's 2 perspectives. One, you lack faith, and you got to have faith in order to do the transition, to know how to shift from your old habits and enter in to usher in those new beginnings. Secondly, I want to talk about, how do you do that if you have a lack mindset? How can you do that if you have a lack mindset? Because that's an issue. We're asking God for something, but we've constantly only ever told ourselves the story of, I don't never have enough, Lord. I always only, make it by the hair on my chinny chin chin. Woo, I made it again this month. You're not recognizing that He's always providing for you in that space, but your lack mindset.
Let me tell you.
Listen, hold on, Mitch. Let me get this out, because I promise you, I want what I want to say on the air tonight. That lack mindset will have you in a face, making you feel like you got to hoard every opportunity that comes your way, and you're going to drown out all of your new beginnings because you don't know how to balance your old habits with the new beginnings. You're trying to take it all in. You're going to self-sabotage all the new stuff you've been asking God for because you don't know how to go in and do a purge with some of the old stuff that's an expire season that's then is going to capsize your boat. And then you're going to end up with nothing at the end.
Listen, Linda. You know what? You didn't tip-tap-toed on everything I was about to say. Let me say this right now. It's almost like the story of the man that was drowning, right? And he was in a boat. Somebody came along, said, get on. No, I'm waiting on God. He went on a bigger ship. Somebody came by, said, come on, get on. He said, no, I'm waiting on God. He got all the way to the roof. Helicopter came. He said, you know what? I'm waiting on God. And then he drowned. He said, God, what happened to you? He said, listen, I gave you 3 opportunities to come to me, but yet you were still waiting on me when in reality I was waiting on you, right? I sent some help for you. I sent 3 people for you, but yet you want to wait. Yes. You get this high, and drown yourself before you say, God, what happened? God said I was there the whole time. It says faith without works. And when it says work means movement. Work means listening. Work means not just listening sometimes, but being quiet and writing down and saying, listen, if I ask you for this, God, if you gave me this vision, you also said you're going to give me the provision. And what we're looking for, we think provision means big numbers. Well, how many people going to be there? Who going to be there? Stop worrying about who going to be there. Are you going to be there? Are you going to be in the number? Right? Because I was brought up in an itty bitty church. And when I got married, they was like, you're going to move and, have it at this big place. There's going to be a lot of people there. No, this is where my foundation was at, right? I'm going back there because it works for me. Now, who's going to make it in the building will be able to witness it. But who's not in the building, not supposed to be there, right? You got to realize sometimes we alter and expand things and we want bigger things for other people. When the reality is God saying, I've sent you small things for you to understand, to take care of this small thing. I'm just trying to see how you going to treat this small thing. How you going to treat this gift? Are you going to sit on it and say, you know what? You're right. I got enough gas. I don't need to do this anymore. This. Or you going to run and say, God, listen here. I thank you for everything that you give me. Yeah. Everything. When I first moved, I moved 5 times. I started my clientele over 5 times. South Carolina, North Carolina, Beaumont, Texas, Houston, Tampa. I didn't know people. But what I did was I had the faith enough to walk around Walmart and different places to get people to come to me and give me a chance. Guess what I still do now at 54 years old, 37 years in the industry? I walk around. Lady stopped me at Walmart. I said, I like your hair. I said, here, let me give this to slick down. But listen, you never could have enough. And when I say that, you think that enough is this part. When we say enough is enough of God's blessings. Yeah. Enough of what he's doing. Enough of what he can change in your life. So the organicness or being realistic with where you are right now in your life, not just you, but we talking about all of us, is that we have excuses. Yes. We have so many excuses about why we can't, when the reality is we don't understand that we could. We just waited on that boat, then that ship, then that helicopter come, and he done sent it several times. He done sent you several classes. He done sent you several people in your life that's talking to you. He didn't sent all these people, but yet you're still waiting on him when he didn't answer it for you. Yeah. He sent help for you, SOS. He got it on his chest like, listen, I have sent you help. I done put the oxygen mask on you. When you fail to do so, when it tell you to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you help someone else, right? Right. But we are busy trying to see what we can do. We have so many excuses and we don't want to have the release. Like my cousin today, she built a new closet. I said, well, Mel, you built a new closet now, but don't put the same clutter in the closet. Because then it's going to look like it was before. You just built it to still be junky. I know. Yes. Can't see. Listen. In 3 years, let it go. Let it go. We want to hold on and hoard. And I got something for the hold on and hoard. I want to go to commercial real quick and then we're going to come right back to the hold on and hoard. How you doing? This your part. This your part. Claim it, because y'all ain't gonna leave the same. Lord, I promise y'all. I have a mascara
Tam, give me something. Give it to her, Tam.
I got it. You got it.
Hey, Britt, come on. Let's give it to the camera, girl. Come on, ain't you the recipient? Yeah, yeah. Hey, did y'all hear that song in the back? It's already mine.
It's already mine.
Yeah, y'all gotta act like it's already yours. But look. What did we say? Hold on and hoard. Is that what we said before we went to commercial?
Hold on and hoard, exactly.
Okay, let me give y'all something real quick on the hold on and hoard. This is still all a part of the same story, but I promise you it's gonna make sense. Now, at another phase of the same growth spurt that I was having, now God is saying it's time to transition. It's time for you to let that chair go. There was some things that happened that I was like, Lord, I'm talking to you. And Lord said, I already talked to you. The
Right.
ED. I already talked to you. See, so I already said what I said.
Right.
You didn't hear me when I said what I said, right? So you want me to keep repeating myself. I said what I said. It didn't change. So you need to rewind, go back there so that you can hear what I said and you can bring it forward, because I'm not getting ready to repeat myself on what I said, right? So when I finally got the memo and I said, oh, okay, this is what I got to do to get to that next level. This what I got to do. He already told me. I'm waiting on him to say this the way it's going to go. And he said, but you heard me when I said that's what you needed to do. So did you think that I did not make provision for you when I already told you what to do? Now you want me to do the work for you by giving it to you step by step. No, each step you take, though, I will give it to you, but you got to take the step first. So when I finally did that, let that chair go, and I moved out the way, a lot of my clients went to someone who was near and dear to me, right? Which meant I blessed them with this clientele base, right? Not because they needed clientele, because some of them, they were like, "Woo, I can't take all of them. Woo, I can't take them. I could take this one. I could take this one." They chose the ones that they could take from my clientele base, right? But one of the ones that they chose to take is my sister friend, as my prayer warrior, right? And the person that she went to, she happened to then become the prayer warrior in that season. So listen, had I not released my chair and I would have kept showing up to that chair, I would have been blocking what the next person's blessing was, in the midst of me saying, I'm gonna stay in this expired season because I want it all. I want my new house. I want to move to the new state. I want to travel back and forth every 2 weeks to come so that I can still be at AHSD's headquarters. I'm gonna still touch these clients that I got over here. I told you I don't talk my numbers, right? And I told you I would share. When I gave up my chair, I gave up over a $250,000 a year chair. Right? I gave that. So that was a third of my income that I gave up. We ain't talking about, French fries here, right?
Right.
We talking about a real multiple 6-figure income that God was saying, no, you got to let that go. And so the thing is, sometimes we don't let things go because who just saying I'm getting ready to fork off a $250,000 plus chair that I've built from the time I was 17 to the time I was 46. My whole identity was wrapped up in that thing, right? So I had to go through a mourning process, even though I was excited to say, woo, I got to the point where I could retire my chair, right? I didn't get to the point where I could just retire and I don't have to make no more money, no more active money. I just released that portion of my income, right? There was still a part of me that was mourning because I love to go on to talk to my clients every day. I love what that energy that brought, being able to talk to these people, these relationships that I have fostered, these people that trusted me. But when I had to release that chair, had I not been listening to God, and had I not already seen the evidence of God in my life and how he's going to always allow me to operate in my abundance as long as I utilize my obedience as my currency and not the actual money that I make as my currency. My access to God is my obedience, and that is y'all currency too, just in case y'all didn't know, right? And so when I released that chair, I could have held on to it. I could have fought, but that would have meant that the person that got to now build and foster a relationship with my sister friend, my prayer warrior, now she got access to what I had access to because I operate in overflow. Right. So now my overflow is now touching her. My obedience is now touching her. And in that era of her life where she needed that prayer warrior, she was able to show up and stand strong in that space for her. What if I wouldn't have moved out the way?
Yes. What if? The what if, right? And when you look at those things like that too, you had to be a tunnel where you can keep going. You had to be that thing now where you're looking at where you are really going to, what you leaving behind, and how and who you leaving it behind with, right? You had to make a way. You had to make room for other blessings to come. A lot of times when we don't realize, like analogy of a rubber band, we can only stretch it for so far and it really going to return. You got to make room for other things to come inside of that blessing that God is about to give you. But when you're constantly trying to squeeze everything in and realize, I want to give me, this is mine. I always tell people, your guess is only your guess while they sit in your chair. That's just period. But when you are sitting here blessing someone and knowing that when you leave this, you didn't leave it, God is going to elevate you to another level because of your obedience. I put down here obedience and begging. Sometimes we can be begging for stuff, right? And don't realize that he's looking for our obedience. Different. When you beg the Lord, please, 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 when he said obedience means it's sacrifice. Obedience means giving up something that you feel is going to hurt you. But the reality is going to hurt. It's going to help you. You know, when they say, you know what, if I do this, and that has happened to me, you know, when at times I'm like, Lord, you know, you're telling me to do this, but you know, I got this bills, pay it. Be obedient with your tithes. And then that abundance came in. It comes in because you were obedient to what God is telling you to do. A lot of times God be talking to us. We just want to hear bits and pieces. That's why I said people will take the Bible and add this certain things. When they say come as you are, it doesn't mean coming with a miniskirt with showing everything. That's what it means. It means coming there, right, with an unclean heart, you know, the way that you are coming in. And God has said, I'm going to meet you where you are. We need to meet people where they are. And the more we talk, the more we're sitting here and being very transparent about our lives and the things that we're going through. We're not saying it for show. This is for real. This is for real. When we break down and we cry and we say, Lord, they just don't get it. You know what? I just don't get it. I just don't see it. He said, it ain't for you to see. He said, you walk by what? Faith, not by sight. So it's not for you to see it. Just understand it. That it's going to work. Like that song said, go ahead and manifest. It's already done. It's already mine. This is mine. Walk around your house, walk around your education, walk around your diploma, whatever it is that you look for, it's already mine, God. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with putting demands on God. God, if not this, something bigger. If not this, something better. I say that all the time. God, if not this, something bigger. If not this, something better. Holding accountability for the actions that when you are faithful to your craft, when you are faithful to who you are, you got to understand who you are first. You know, I told, you know, a lot of people, I went through something called trauma bond, right? And when you're dealing with that, it's, you know, growing up and doing things in your life, you always try to prove something to other people. When the reality is I needed to prove to myself, and everybody else could see it. Everybody else encourage you. Everybody else rah you. You sit here like, okay, right? But the reality is you need to realize that it's inside of you. So that's where that thing is coming in, the holding you back. That's that thing that's saying, listen, I know I can do it. I know I can have it. I'm just holding myself back. I'm holding myself back. I'm second guessing what I can do. I'm sitting here saying, you know, I've never did this before, but I'm doing it. Who said I can move 5 times? 5 times. A little girl from South Carolina. I'm like, what? You about to where and do what? How many times? But every time I'm walking by faith, right? Even though I couldn't see it. And plenty of times they sit there, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I used to have a book empty But I like, oh, can I get you in today? Let me see.
Yeah.
About two. I'm sitting here like doing this, right? But when I was doing this, I was putting demand on my book because I need them to know I'm big. I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm looking at my book, and it may be empty, but how about 2:30? You know what? That's what you got? Okay, I get it. I'm in there.
Yeah. Scarcity. You have to create scarcity around yourself. Yeah. Yes. They don't want to miss out. And so you have to create scarcity. That is marketing 101. I want to run through our ID lineup. And as I run through this lineup, can you talk to the people about why you continue to show up for ID and what that means for you and how that space feels for you as an educator and as a past student? So let's go ahead and run this out. Who we got? All right, of course, Ms. Micheline Barber. What did she tell y'all? Impacting the minds of millions. Mitch, can you tell the people what you bring to that space?
You know, that space brings things to me as well as what I look forward to, seeing new individuals, seeing fresh winds, seeing something that I've never seen before, feeling something that I never felt before. Even this last time, God has opened me up to a whole nother level. This last time, and I'm looking for expectations of even bigger the next time. You got to realize, in order to know what is there for you, you got to show up. Stop calling people to see what happened, and you show up to see for yourself. So when I'm in this space, it's telling me what I have to do, not just for myself, but there's somebody in the seats that's watching and waiting and wanting to know something different. It's someone in that seat that's saying, listen, I deserve this, and give it to me. There's something in that seat. So someone in that seat that's sitting there said they spent their last to get here. So I show up because I was in that space. I understand what it meant to be a student. I understand what it means to be in a space and you got there and didn't know where your next was going to be coming from. That's why I keep showing up, because it resuscitates me. It's a revival. It's a revival. If anyone ever, I'm from South Carolina, so a revival means it's all weekend. You look forward to Friday. You know what I'm saying? Because it's 5 days of nothing but impact. But you look forward to that 5th day because you already know something is going to go on. Yeah. So these 5 days is like a revival. Every day is an elevation of a different preacher, a different pastor, a different evangelist, a different, prophetess. It's something in that space for everyone that fits perfectly. So you don't have to worry about whether you need to lose weight or gain weight. Just get there. And it's gonna fit just perfect. So that's what I want.
That's good stuff. Who else we got? Because Mitch is gonna open up this thing for us as she always does. Okay, now we got Mr. Chris Abon, branding and marketing specialist, right? Yes. I love his segment because Chris has a niche. Chris has niched himself for the beauty industry to serve us and helping us bring our brands to life. And his unique presence in that space, because everyone there is learning a new skill set. You've never done this before. So if you've never done it before, you don't know how to market yourself. Chris understands how to help you market. You want to know why he understands how to help you market? Because he helps yours truly market. Yeah. So because of that, he already understands the niche of trichology. So he's going to help bring your business to life, help you with that digital footprint, and teach you so much more during his presentation. Chris spends about 1.5 hours to 2 hours with us lecturing and presenting to you how to build your brand as a beauty professional. So you don't want to miss that. Who else we got? We got Miss Jessica Davis, certified trichologist and Sister Locks educator. Jessica is an in-house educator because she is an American Academy of Hair and Scalp Diseases educator who has a focus on and who has niched out natural hair as a trichologist. So there's so much to be learned in that space. I glean from Jessica also because she has this specialized niche within a niche. So you don't want to miss her, because coming in, listening to her lecture on locks and natural hair and the terrain of the scalp and how to approach these different types of fabrics of hair from a trichological perspective will simply blow your mind. Who else? She's new to the scene, Miss Tam Waters, hair loss and NSHR, or non-surgical hair replacement specialist. She is on board. Tam actually just came through as a hair loss first responder and scalp microbiome specialist through our June 5-day incubator. And now she's back as an educator, teaching you how to do non-surgical hair replacement from a trichological perspective, and also showing you how to add additional streams of income to your beauty business through government contracts and medical billing. So you don't want to miss that. Who else we got? We got Miss Dania Durden. She is also an in-house educator for the American Academy of Hair and Scalp Diseases. You hear us always talking about the scalp microbiome specialist, aligning gut health with scalp health. She is the specialist that is going to give you all the in-depth training, giving you new insight, new perspective, shifting your lenses on how to actually align the scalp health with what's happening within the gut, and how to transform all of the things so that your client can actually experience a better ecosystem on their scalp. You don't want to miss that piece either. And we have Dr. Joy K. Madison. Dr. Joy K. Madison, she is unique to the 5-day incubator in that she supports the practitioner. Everything else is going to support the customer that you're going to serve. Joy comes in from the perspective of supporting the practitioner, helping you get your mental wellness, your emotional intelligence in alignment for this new skill set. Because contrary to what you may think, showing up the same way you do in your black coat when you transition into that white coat cannot be done. You must show up to a higher level of service, a deeper level of service when you transition into that white coat. And Joy K. Madison actually supports you with your wellness overall and your mindset, so that you know how to accept, receive, and transform your client from a trichological perspective. So I love her segment. Who else we have? Marsha Mayfield. Now, listen. Throughout those 5 days, you're going to learn how to create an additional 6 figures for yourself. That's also a part of what we do for you. Marsha Mayfield is going to show you how to protect those 6 figures, how to continue to build on those 6 figures during her segment with us. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that either. What else we got going? Who was that girl? Who that?
La, la, la.
Advocate, that is Kai Smith, the founder, the signature creator of ID Hair Loss BTC. And I get excited because God has given me this platform. He's continuing to build and expand. And I don't know where he's taking me, but I just want to let you know that I am open and I am going and I am serving and transforming, and I'm grateful for all the people who have aligned with me to make this thing possible. So I will be facilitating and overseeing all of the trichological days that we have for you. I've created the content. We have a workbook that's nearing 200 and something pages that we go through every single page over those 5 days. We have 12 hours of jam-packed education every day for 5 consecutive days. So you do not want to miss this. Listen. Let's hop back into this thing, Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we have said a lot. But what I want to do, because we kind of tag team off of each other. Like, we talk about ID, we talk about Impulse, because if y'all didn't know, I am actually a partner with Impulse Summit, and I have main stage, and I will be talking about fading to white, which is actually transitioning from that black coat to that white coat that I was just talking about. And Mitch and I align so well that we share in each other's event space. And she comes and she pours into mine. I come and I pour into hers. So let's talk about what you're doing with Impulse Summit and why people need to meet us there in September.
Well, there's so many things about Impulse Summit that I absolutely can talk about, but there's so many things that I love about it, and it's the people that show up in that space. It's different, it's organic, it's unique, and the biggest thing is, it's not just about hair. It's bigger than hair, and that's what we always say. A lot of times people just look for the hair aspect and this, but it's bigger than that because it gets down to the core of what you need in your business, in your mind, in your spirit. So it transforms. I love, just like last night, I watched it live and I watched Dania and I watched Kayla just transform before my eyes last night. And I was like, getting ready to ask questions. I'm like, wow, look at you, God. You can see that shift and that change in people because it does that. It actually do that at both spaces, at your space and at my space. So that's why it's aligned together, spiritual aligned, because we release the same vibe, the same, aura that's in the atmosphere, the spirit of wanting people to get it. So it's not just about, how you are showing up, it's how you are showing up, right? Don't just show up and just look around. Show up and get ready to receive everything that you've been looking for, everything that your heart desires. Say, listen, I'm leaving it here at the altar, which is why we have something called a release at the end. Because it is something that we are bridging that gap in between where people are losing hope, right? And a lot of times people think that you're going through a mourning, and you think this because of a loss, but the reality is sometimes you lose yourself. And when you are mourning yourself, when you are downing yourself, when you are doubting yourself, then you are becoming dead and dormant. When you got to resuscitate yourself. Being in like-minded spaces with like-minded people resuscitates you. It gives me a whole jar. You know what I'm saying? Like when they put those life support things and you sit here like, yes, you never get tired. So when you show up, you ask me why I show up, is because I'm showing up in spaces that's going to help me elevate even higher. But I got to be in the building to even see it. I can't see it from social media and what people are doing and how they living. I gotta feel it for myself. Just like the first day of AHG, I showed up and God I couldn't sleep that night. I told you that. God just kept saying, reveal. Well, God, I know that's what it was called in 2020. No, Mitch, reveal. And it had to be a revealing in that space. But what if I didn't show up? And I normally do the last day, but I had to do the first day, right? Yep. What if? So he orchestrated it where I had to be there first day to reveal what was going to be happening the rest of the weekend. You got to realize that in order for us to know what the reveal is, you got to be able to open the door. You got to be able to open your eyes. That's what reveal is. You got to be able to open your heart for something to be revealed. But as long as your eyes, your ears, your mouth, everything closed, nothing can get in and nothing can get out. Mm-hmm. It's time for you to realize that I need to shed this skin I've been carrying around. Even a snake shed the skin, right? For new beginnings. Yep. Because you can't stay in that same skin for so long. I hate snakes, but I'm going to tell you this now. When you see that skin, you know that it had to grow. Mm-hmm. And I always say, oh, you see that skin? That means it's a bigger snake. Mm-hmm. I always learn it. Anytime you are growing out of your skin, it's because you're growing. Mm-hmm. You cannot stay in that box. That's what they say. You always train a puppy in a small space, right? Because even a dog don't use the restroom where he lie. Understand? Mm-hmm. Right? So then you start getting it. Even a plant, they tell you to move it from a smaller pot and for it to grow. We want to stay right here, but we want to grow. We want to stay in the same little spot, the same dot, around the same people in the same circle, and stop making excuses just because you're from South Carolina. No, you don't have to be from South Carolina. You don't have to be from North Carolina. You could be from any big state. But what dot are you? What are you making on this map? What are you producing in this space? Get out your pot. You outgrew it. Stay out of that little pot that you're still trying to wiggle yourself in and fit in, almost like these clothes, and it don't fit no more. Yeah. Put them down. Yeah. Put them away because it doesn't work for you anymore. Yeah. Now it's time for you to replot or replant yourself into a different position. It's time for you to pivot, shift, move, drive, whatever you got to do, just get there. And
Yeah.
once you're there, you be like, man, I was worried about this the whole time, when the reality is the answer was right there.
Yeah.
But I want to stay over here in this little pot. I want to play with the little people.
Yeah.
I want to play, like I told him the other day, I said, the reason why we can't see the big picture, because we still looking through the small frames.
Yeah. And then also too, when you outgrow the pot that you're in, and then you replant yourself in that pot, it calls for you to have new soil that goes into that pot, right? You can't take that same soil to the next pot. Now we got to have new fresh soil. So you need to act like you're in a different environment. Exactly. When you get into the environment with these people. You can't take this. This is all in a nutshell about balancing new beginnings and old habits.
That's
now,
it.
Not the same tree, but we're growing. So now we need a bigger space because our roots are spreading, they're planted. We require more soil, different soil with those nutrients. So when you get into this new space, you have to be ready to absorb what's coming in, because if you can't absorb it, then you're going to self-sabotage because you desire to be in a new space, but you're bringing all the old stuff that can't come with you into that new space. So you got to have an open mindset, because you ask God for this, right? You ask God for it. So when he shows it to you, understand what to do with it. You can't walk around with that spirit of, I don't want nobody to tell me what to do, but I want to be in this space, and I want to grow. Give me what you got, but I don't want to release what I came with. Just give me what you got, because I want everything. That's where that lack mentality shows up. So in order to immerse yourself in a new space, you have to have a renewed mindset as well. So y'all listening? Y'all listening? Stop asking God for stuff without asking him for a new mindset to hold the stuff that you ask.
Come on, somebody.
Stop asking him for stuff. We just want. But we don't want to grow into the person that we need to become in order to contain the stuff that God is trying to give us. So when we show up with a lid on ourselves and we can't get nothing to pour into it because the lid is on it, and we asking God, well, why I don't have no opportunities? Why does it happen? I've been pouring out. I put you in a space with somebody that's a pourer, but because you still had a lid on it, nothing can get inside of you. So it's all falling around you. So then you end up with nothing.
You know, it's almost like that passed down passion. You know what the passed down passion is? It's everything been passed down to you, so you picking it back up. You know how they say you pick up what I laid down? No, I'm not going to pick up what you laid down because I want something better, right? Sometimes we don't realize we have that past behavior because somebody told us that, or, you know, we don't go look it up for ourselves. We want to find out, you know, that 2 + 2 is 4, but also 1, 5 - 1 is 4 too. So it's different ways of getting it. But can you do your research? You got that passed down passion where when somebody tell you this only works for you and this only can do this, when the reality is you have not seeked it out for yourself. So that's where you bump up against things. We pass down things. We pass it down to our children. When we say, you know what, you'll never amount to anything. No, you're not going to have this. You pass it down. So you're taking that same passed down passion on to somebody else. It's time to change lanes. If you've been driving this lane for so long and something and they change the light, you're gonna wreck. You better open your eyes and understand, just because you know that road, don't think it won't change on you. Just because we are in this field, don't think it don't change on you. And just like my pastor said, when you go to get your vision check, right? He said, Mitch, the chart don't change. Come on, somebody.
That's good. That's good, baby. Because if I don't have these spectacles on, I can't see nothing happening.
The chart don't change.
I can keep on walking like I'm cute and I don't need these, but I'm gonna miss everything that's for me, baby. I need to see. I'm gonna put.
You know what changed? You know what changed during that whole thing? Your vision. Your vision. When you got small mental, I'm gonna tell people, when you think small, don't be around me. You talk little, don't be around me, because I don't want to catch that. There are a couple of things I don't want to catch. I catch a cold first, but what I won't catch is the foolishness of you second guessing what you can do.
But listen, I don't want you around me because people can talk and say all the things, right? So don't only talk good. You can't just come around me talking good, right? And I want this, I want that. Because I'm the kind of person, I'm gonna give you access to it, right? I'm gonna give you, if God assigned you into this space, you're gonna have access to be able to build yourself, because that's just what happened. The chart don't change, your vision did. Yes, Sam. So listen, I am also not here for the person who can talk a good game, because I'm gonna test you on it. And your talk better align with your walk, because just like I said earlier, you can't be, I got a red wagon and I'm putting people in my red wagon. And if I'm the only one pulling and I'm sweating and you riding with your feet hanging out my red wagon and you licking on your popsicle while I'm pulling the red wagon, and you over there retreating, you gonna get out of my red wagon, because I'm not pulling this wagon up the hill by myself. I need your feet on the side of the red wagon pushing while I'm pulling, because I'm building a table for all of us. But you can't come to the table and just gobble up the appetizers and the full course meal and the dessert and sip your wine and your water and all of that, and then think that nobody is going to see it.
Because what they're doing is they're allowing the water to get in the boat. See, the only way, listen, you ever seen that thing where one person was putting the water and the other one was putting it in? You don't realize sometimes people working against you. And now somebody can be you. If you look in the mirror, you could be working against yourself. While you dumping that water out, you dumping water back in, because you have not released it. You have not gotten it out and walked away from it and said, listen, I've been living this way for so long. It's time for me to change. And there's nothing wrong at any age, any time period you've been doing it. There's nothing wrong with shutting it down, opening it back up. I tell you right now, I moved from my 7-chair salon, right? I held on to it, being very transparent because for other people, right? And when I did it's a training ground. What people gonna say? What? God said, listen, it's time for you to move. And I'm talking about move now. So when I did, I'm looking for another smaller space, still a salon. I said, move, and I need you to reset. See, RE means again. I need you to think about the RE part, right? RE means again. So I need you to rethink this so you can regain momentum, right? So you can reset. Think about the next time you said it. Say, you know what, God gave it again. So when I moved, and then I just moved again, right? I hate moving. But what happened was I was selling for the space, because the space was big. It was not, all this stuff. But I moved again. Now they say, Mitch, it's so brighter in here. I said, I did not realize I was operating in the dark. See, we think because the light, sometimes you operate in the dark and you're not even telling nobody. When the reality is you need to shine the light and say, listen, oh yeah, I got this ring light, not because it's going to show me brighter and because I need it to see. So it's nothing wrong with you realizing when you need to shed the light on the things that you need to change about yourself. It's nothing wrong with that. And until we get to that point in our life, you spin in the mud. Until you get in that point in your life where it says nothing wrong with resetting myself and getting into when I'm now, everybody's like, oh, you look so, and look, I'm dressing. I always dress before, but baby, I come in at 9. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming in with the 9. So like, cause you know what I'm saying? Because people are passing by and they're like, I'm like, hey, and they say, right, love it. I'm like, me too. I even feel the water difference, the temperature, the vibe. It's like, Mitch, I can see you having a space like this. I said, absolutely. See, you got to realize that sometimes people settle because that's all you showed them. Until you show them something different, we want to come and show every accolade on our wall, but you ain't did nothing different. You haven't done anything different. You got all these trophies and all these things on your wall, but you still operating in the same space. Don't have nothing. Do a clear, like you said, a clear board. Reset. Clear wall. No paint. Because a lot of times we cover up stuff with our makeup. We want to cover up everything instead of reality is when you pull this thing out, what's really under here?
What's under there?
Hurt. Right? I'm going to tell you, I was operating in a dark space and I could not understand why. Right? I was like, I don't know what's going on with me. I can't remember stuff. I was, putting stuff off. I didn't even know how to pray. It was so scary. I'm like, God, I know how to pray. But I was laying dormant under something that I need to get off of me.
Yeah.
Until you recognize yourself, and when you're looking in that mirror and you don't recognize yourself,
Yeah.
it's not for change.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not for change. But yet we want to hold on to the yesterday. See, I went back when I moved from one house to another. I had all these things that I did. I'm like, Lord, I forgot I went to England. Lord, I forgot. I'm saying you forget these things, and I had to go back and, girl, do you not see the value? Do you not see
Yeah.
the value in you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop looking at somebody else and see the value in you. Get out yourself, out your way. We in our way for so long. We want to stop and say, I just want to be in the salon. I just want to do. No, it's bigger than hair. It's bigger than anything that you can imagine. Just be in the space.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at yourself, do you really see yourself, or do you see somebody who's falling and laying in a dark space? You
But
operate in this.
we have to be in this. We have to be able to be honest with ourselves, because when you were talking about you getting the water out, but somebody behind you putting the water in. See, here's the thing. Sometimes people don't know that they're onboarding water and onto your ship or your boat. They don't even know that they're doing that because they lack the self-awareness. So they don't even know that they're coming and bringing that water weight because they lack the self-awareness. They don't recognize, this is an opportunity. This is space for growth. But because they bring them with them, because you take you everywhere you go. So when they don't know how to show up to them, they show up with their inauthentic selves to themselves. How do you expect for them to show up authentically to you? That's not a such thing. So this is why, as visionaries and leaders, we have to carry that discernment on us. We have to understand the people that we are called to serve, that we are called to grow. We have to be able to look into them and understand where their capacity is, because sometimes you can want something more for someone else than they want for themselves. And they're not showing up trying to be defiant to say, I don't want what you're trying to give. They really naturally want what you're trying to give, but they don't recognize that they don't have the capacity, because the old habits that they need to throw out to balance the new beginnings is going to be the old mindset that they have that don't have the capacity to hold the new beginnings, which is why I said you have to actually ask God to give you a new mindset to hold. Shift my perspective, Lord, to align with what I'm asking you for. Grow me, Lord, to align me with what I'm asking you for. Give me the capacity, Lord. Stretch me so that I can be who I need to be to contain and to hold what I'm asking you for. But see, some of us want to just get the stuff, but we don't want to grow. So that's how we end up hoarding, and we can't see the opportunities, and we're squandering opportunities because we're just in the asking business. We're not in the doing business.
Doing business. We have to realize there's a push and pull. It's almost like that little teeter. Is it called a teeter tatter thing?
The seesaw.
Yeah. So what happens with that, right? With the balance, you have to have somebody on the other end to let up, somebody else go down, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether you're 300 pounds or whether you're 100 pounds. What matters is when you spring up to help that person out, right? Yeah. Sometimes we don't realize that we are on this thing and it's just us. and
right.
We're so scared. We going back and forth like this, like, Lord, I want to go up, but it won't go up because you're trying to do it by yourself. And the reality is you need to look on the other side, say, God, I need your help right now. I'm unbalanced. Right now, I'm sitting here on one end and I'm wanting to go up, but God, I'm unbalanced right now.
Yeah.
So I need to release some things, right? To get myself up. Whenever you look at oil and water, they don't mix. One of them going to always go to the top. I don't care how much you try to mix it. When the oil is on you, you're going to always rise to the top. And when the oil is on you, you're going to always rise to the top.
What oil are we talking about?
The holy oil. You already know the oil.
Oh, I just wanted to say that.
Let me tell you something. You got that spirit oil on you. Like my pastor said, Mitch, you know why nothing can't stick to you? Because you got the oil on you. Right? When you got the oil on you, and a lot of us are walking around, Kai, you got the oil on you. When you walk around with the oil on you, that's why things don't stick to you. When people like, man, that should have killed her. That should have took her out. But it didn't. Because the oil is on it. Right? When you got the oil, and a lot of us have the oil, right, Tracy? A lot of us got the oil on us, but yet we're not operating in the oil.
You're not operating in
We
it.
operated in the slack and the lack of the oil. We operated like water, and water is unforgivable. I'm gonna tell
Girl,
y'all, water don't care. It does not care.
it's
Water
drown
is
if you ain't careful.
you understand me? Water
Mm,
is unforgivable, but we
yeah.
operating in that.
Yeah. It
You
it 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 looked peaceful until you and you, but you don't know what's lurking underneath. You don't know what that current might be like underneath it to take you out.
you understand? Let's say this. Tam that just said because of the oil. Tam showed up in a space. Oh, I'm about to say it, God. Okay. I can say it. Say it. Tam showed up in a space, right? And now God is using her even more. Ooh,
Mm,
in the space. Come on,
mm,
somebody. But she had to show up.
mm,
She had
mm.
to show up to show who she is. She had
Mhm.
to do a degree of separation to show up that the oil is on her, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes we don't realize when you don't show up, nobody don't see you. They don't see
Best
you.
kept secret. Best kept secret.
I tell them, and this is the honest to God truth, my very, very first seminar that I ever did is because I showed up even when I was in school. I dressed up, helped them shampoo. I'm helping finger waves, act like I know what I'm doing. I'm learning at the same time, right? And when somebody did not show up, guess who they said? Admit you in. In where?
Put me in, coach.
You in the game. In what game? Oh, you about to do this. I'm about to do what? Right. And I had to ask 50 minutes. I was like, are you serious? They said, yeah, we've been watching you.
Right.
Mr. Daddy said, we've been watching you. Right? Okay, I got it. Got up there, everything. And you got to realize this. Don't show up at a baseball game and talk about you going to play first base. You got to practice how you want to play, baby. So if I want to be great, I got to practice how I want to play. So I was practicing how I want to play. When I got up there, it was the playing game. It was the time, right? And it just went from there. I'm talking about they was flying me somewhere everywhere. They was like, man, you heard about the new girl? You heard about the new girl? Like it went like wildfire. But you had to be in the building.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had to see. I didn't have to. What happened, y'all? What? You lying. And how
Right.
many people there? And what did they do?
Yeah.
Be in the building.
Yeah.
You never know by being in the building at any cost.
Yeah.
Because it's going everything that you ever got in life had a price on it.
Baby.
The shirt had a price on it. These eyelashes has a price on it. This hair has a price. Everything that you ever want in life has a price on it. What are you willing to pay?
Yeah. Absolutely.
What are you
What
right? I was prepared for the opportunity. Exactly, Dania, because I practiced that.
Yeah.
I said, this is what I'm emulating. And I'm looking at some of the top educators across the country, Benita Chapman. I'm talking about Floyd Kenyatta. I'm watching them saying, yes, yes.
You can see yourself through them.
Through them, the lenses. So that chart up there didn't change. I needed to see it differently.
Yeah.
Tracy Lee, one of the ones who showed up in the building, I said, you got your comb? She was like, yeah. I'm like, okay, get up the stage.
Mm-hmm. I remember that story.
And did it.
Yeah.
Oh, we're pushers. So you can call us drug dealers, right, Kai? You can call me a drug dealer because I'm a pusher.
Hey, I'm a pusher. Yeah. I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna push you until you can't be pushed no more. And you better be careful because if you ain't planted, you might fall right on the side of that cliff. If you ain't planted,
I've witnessed you doing that. I've witnessed you in your space where you push people, right? And you say, listen, you understand this? Don't get in this space that you about to play with me.
Yeah, don't play in my face.
Don't play in my face. That's one thing you don't want to do.
Yeah,
right. Pushing with a purpose. That's it. That's it, Dania.
Yeah, purpose pusher, as they say. This is good. I want to give people the opportunity to see what you are offering at Impulse. So I want to go ahead and run. I have 2 videos that I want to run just to showcase what's happening at Impulse Summit. Y'all don't want to miss it. Like there's so much there to receive, but there's also so much there to give because you never know the person that you might rub elbows with. There may be something that you need to plant in that room in somebody.
Oh, come
right?
on.
You never go somewhere only wondering what you gonna get, how you gonna be served. My question is, what can I offer the space? Anytime I want to show up somewhere, it's not what am I gonna get from there? What can I deposit there? What can I leave there? That's what I want to know. But it so happens that there's reciprocity at Impulse Summit. What you show up to receive, you will also be able to give to someone also. You never know what a word could say to somebody. You never know what a phone number might do and how that might manifest into something. You just don't ever know. So let me let you see what's up with Impulse.
So I'm sitting here reflecting and reading my notes, and the biggest thing that I'm looking at is, who are you? So many people have been going through things, including myself. So many people have been pushed and pulled in different directions, including myself. When he told me to name it victory, it was a reason. But I also was reminded that before every victory, there was a battle. Some of us are going through grieving, and not necessarily losing a person, but losing themselves. Or sometimes we grieve over the things that we used to have financially and say, I've never been in this position before. I've never been where I didn't have this amount. I could not do this, and I could not move like I wanted to. Seriously, personally, that means we got to dig deep and say, what is it in me that's been laying dormant that I thought was dead, but I did not shake it up? What is that thing about me that I know I need to change in my business, the way I've been doing business? Because I've been doing it the same way. It's been the same thing over and over. So fight for your change. Fight for that thing that's going to give you victory. Impulse Summit is preparing for that. And we're fighting for you because we know what's going to show up in Impulse Summit in September. Because God has already said so. We've already been born in victory. We walk in victory. We talk in victory. We know what victory is. Let's go through the battle and the fight together. Get the Impulse Summit. It'll be well. So listen, check your inbox because Impulse Summit has something very special for you. $2.99 class pass. So $2.99 will get you all the classes. We talking about cutting, color, natural hair, trichology, man weaving, eyelash, skincare, and more. So for $2.99, you can join us for Impulse Summit for classes all 3 days. Let's talk about that VIP. And what is our VIP founders? VIP founders get all the exclusive perks of being VIP. Early Saturday, we have a brunch, a orange brunch, just for our founders. And that's an off-site event. So get your orange together for those who are asking me what color to wear. You get VIP seating. You get the swag bags. We also have a founders lounge just for you that only the founders and VIPs can go in. So we also have a victory lane that you don't have to wait in line when it comes to So listen, check your inbox because Impulse Summit has something very special for you. $2.99 class pass. So $2.99 will get you all the classes. We talking about cutting, color, natural hair, trichology, man weaving, eyelash, skincare, and more. So for $2.99, you can join us for Impulse Summit for classes all 3 days. Let's talk about that VIP. And what is our VIP founders? VIP founders get all the exclusive perks of being VIP. Early Saturday, we have a brunch, a orange brunch, just for our founders. And that's an off-site event. So get your orange together for those who are asking me what color to wear. You get VIP seating. You get the swag bags. We also have a founders lounge just for you that only the founders and VIPs can go in. So we also have a victory lane that you don't have to wait in line when it comes to registration. For breakfast, you have 2 breakfasts on sites. Sunday, we're taking care of your breakfast, and Monday for that powerful PPB Power Panel breakfast. That's all about the business. And then we also have our cream event that's going to be on Sunday evening. We guarantee to transform your life spiritually, personally, and professionally in Impulse Summit.
Listen, y'all don't want to miss Impulse Summit. It's going down in Charlotte, North Carolina. All right, meet me there. I'm coming in hot, and I'm coming in hot simply because listen, y'all, I'm about to turn 50. Okay. So I'm going to be celebrating the big 5-0 because my birthday is September 27th. We're going to wrap that thing up on September 23rd. So I'm coming in hot. I'm coming in hot. I will have some special stuff for my tribe that is meeting me there to help me celebrate the big 5-0. So don't miss it because I'm coming in with the gifts, with the gifts.
All right.
So align with me and meet me at my booth. Come talk to me because I got something for you, right? So, Mitch, with all of the things that's going on, the one special thing that I recognize that you are doing this year that was not said in your video is that you actually have opened up a segment for the public, for the consumer, because you're really trying to show the consumer why they can't afford not to be in the salon set anymore, why they can't afford to go to YouTube and get styled. Come into this space, come and get nurtured, come and get advice from the professional who has gone the distance to learn how to take care of your hair, understanding that the fabric of your hair is not the same as the fabric of the other person's hair. There are some unique differences about you that require special attention, and we cannot put a I'm for the lack of a better term, because we as hairstylists, we always say we got the prescription for your hair, whatever we're going to do to your hair or whatever. You can't lay a blanket prescription on somebody's hair because they have coily hair, they're dense, or because they have fine hair and wavy. Everybody is something different, and we need to pre-existing condition of the hair to learn how to bring that hair back to where it's supposed to naturally live. And you can really only get that when you are engaging a professional, not on YouTube, not in the beauty supply, not on the back of the box. So that's one of the things that I know that you brought special for this space. And then additionally, you have the menopause, where you're actually inviting men. It's a safe, vulnerable, transparent space for men to come and get the support that they need too, because even though they operate in their masculine energy as they should, it doesn't mean that they don't hurt. It doesn't mean that they don't get stuck. It doesn't mean that they don't need the support. So I really like how you're shifting and you are servicing all in this space. You even have, like, for the beginners, the babes, that are trying to come up and build their entrepreneurial spirit. You even bring in a mom and a daughter into the space to talk to them and coach them on what it looks like to build a business from ground up if you are a youngster. And when I say youngster, you can be young in age or you can be young in entrepreneurship, whichever one that is for you. You're bringing that space to Impulse Summit. So you just kind of going all out. Every year you're bringing a different element to support the community. And I really admire that about how you don't just keep it the same. You see a need, or if someone is giving you feedback from a survey or whatever you guys are seeing out there, you're now trying to bring it into the space of Impulse Summit.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that we do, Kai, because we also, we have also been counseling through you. We ask the people, what do you want to see? We look around, y'all see me peeping in every classroom to see what's more heavier, what more thing. We looked at the mental health class, packed last year, and did not realize how much people are suffering again in silence and not really talking. So now we're looking at, we got young entrepreneurs that's coming out there, but don't know where to go. They think the streets is where to go, or TikTok is where to get it out. And so, but the reality is, here's a young lady that's going to tell you that I've been a millionaire since she was 5 years old with Bose on how to be a millionaire and how to get your business into different places. We also looked at what men are in families lacking, because if you're married or whatever your significant other is, they don't understand our plot. When we're saying out here about doing hair, being in here this long, these hours, this is what I got to do. This is classes, what I take. And now what we're hearing is a lot of ladies saying, my husband wants to travel with me. Oh my God, I've never went out of town without my husband, and now he's coming with me. And we are so elated about that, because we've added that facet where the men now are going to go with the mental health therapists like Christopher Peters and his team to really talk to them about things. And then we got the ladies over here where we talked about the menopause and what you go through with that, and just, relationships and spiritual, things. So we have pastor that's going to be leading some of the things. We have Chris that's going to be leading some of the things, Lee Oliver. So different people like that we're constantly trying to find out what is needed out there. And
Right.
yes, you can do all the cuts, all the color, all these things. That's amazing. But people also need to realize that it's things out there that's missing. So, the want and the need is what we're asking you. And they're saying, listen, the mental health, we didn't realize that lack of vitamin D caused this. And we didn't realize that, you have lack of this, which is causing your husband to be disconnected from you. And then it's this when he feels like I can be involved. And also when I bought my daughter, Micaiah, which is a very introvert / extrovert. I'll tell you, she's did a switch. I took her with me for the first time last year to Browder Brothers. Now she's quiet, everything. I watched her butterfly across Browder Brothers, like, this is my mom product. And I'm sitting here like, because I never involved her in it, in the space, she never understood the magnitude of what her mom bring to the table, right? And so when she seen it, she was like, wow, mom, this is big, right? This is, and so she started becoming involved. So when you look at this, where we don't involve our children, or we don't involve our spouses, we don't involve, different people in our lives, that's what we're doing, then they don't respect it. Yeah. And they don't understand why we're here long hours and why we crying at night. And, you keep pouring in. I had somebody say, why you keep pouring in? And, you keep every year you crying in your pillow and you shake it and stuff like that. Because you want people to get it. And it hurts you so bad. And they hate to see you in pain. But the reality is pain for purpose. Yeah. And that purpose is for people to get it. Yeah. Just like when they come to AHSD, when they come there, it's a pain in that purpose for getting there. But once they get there, like the last time, it was weather. So they was delayed, but not denied. So even though you went through the pain of getting there, it was purpose for you showing up in that space. So in order for you to know to grow, and even giving birth, for those who gave birth, it's pain, right? That's stretching. You don't recognize yourself. You're looking at yourself in the mirror. Everything look, all out of whack and everything. But when you realize it, it's pain and it's purpose. Yeah. That when you're holding something, when you're getting ready to give birth, or when you're holding a baby inside of us, it's painful. Black sticks and can't sleep, and you used to sleeping on your side, and now you got to change your position even when you're pregnant, right? I used to love sleeping on my stomach. I couldn't sleep on my stomach anymore because, of course, that was so I had to change my position, and it became uncomfortable. Yeah. Until I realized there's pain in this purpose. So let me find out this thing that I can grow from. You got to find out that right, Sam, there's pain in every purpose. Every time you ever gone through something, you cut your finger, you realize, well, I can't cut past my second knuckle no more. That's pain in purpose. You learn that lesson.
Girl, tell me about
it. Right. You paid the price. You paid the price. And when you pay the price, you appreciate it. I always tell people this, and I said a speech a long time ago that Mr. Dudley had sent out to everybody. It's called Shake It Off and Pack It Under Your Feet. And I wrote one saying, taking the elevators instead of stairs. And of course, we can take the elevators and you get there fast, right? Everybody wants that fast mentality. They want to get there fast. But it's nothing wrong with a slow cooker. Nothing wrong with that in the oven. Gives it time to bake, marinate, and sometimes you got to put things in the refrigerator and let all them seasons get in there. And that's a cold season. Yeah. Right? But during that cold season, you don't understand that you being seasoned. Mm-hmm. You're being molded, and those things that's coming inside you. But then when you come out and pop it in the oven, then it comes out. All of these juices that you've been sitting here and being married, all these tears that you've been crying and wondering why, you was just in a cold season. Yeah. And when you're in a cold season, you learn to put more clothes on, right? You learn to cover yourself. You learn to have that covering when you're in a cold season. Yeah. And when you come out of that season, right, Kyle, like we all went through, and you see there's something sunny on the other side that you can start taking off these layers now of understanding that you're growing. Yeah. It's a season. Yeah. You got to ask yourself, what season are you in? If you're in that cold season, it's okay. If I'm talking to you on this live right now because I was in that cold season. Yeah. Christy said, oh, I'm getting back to old Mitch. I'm singing, I'm blurting out stuff. But before I was in a cold season, like cold. Didn't understand, but I was being seasoned. Yeah. Such a time as this.
Yeah.
That's why I appreciate you sharing your platform, because that's your platform that you gave birth to. That you allow me to babysit your baby for an hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
Watch my baby now, Micheline. But you trust me holding your baby.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody on this screen that's gonna give their baby to somebody they don't trust.
Right.
So
Yeah.
when you come to Houston, that's Kai baby. And when she give you a seat at the table, understand me, she's allowing you to witness her baby growing. Right? Sometimes people don't show their baby till they grow older. She's allowing you to see her, that baby. Look at them shoes, right? Because it's at an ugly stage. Just to be
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
not all babies are born cute. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But they grow into themselves. So when you are giving birth, your baby may not be the cutest thing, right? But dress it up, put on some cute shoes.
Right.
And when it grow into itself, you're gonna be like, how beautiful this baby is.
Yes.
So
That's
everything
good.
on the screen, when you are coming to Houston, when you're coming to Charlotte, and hopefully you come to both, because it's a new birth in every month, right? There's a birth in every month. That's why people have birthdays, right?
Yeah.
There's born days. You are born again when you come in spaces like Kai Space. You are born again when you come to Impulse Summit. You shed out that old skin. So it's time out for begging. It's time for you to be obedient to what's been tugging you, because that thing been tugging on you. Say, I told you you should sign up. Oh, you know what? I should have signed up. And you're feeling crazy. You're feeling stuck. But once you in there, you be like, wow, I'm giving birth to my baby.
Yeah.
Something I've been wanting to do for so long. I want to pivot from behind the chair and now take care of individuals that's losing their hair, that's losing their life, right? Because of their hair. They sit here and they're aging because they have nobody to reach out to and nobody to trust. So that's why we're building a space that's a very organic, safe space that you'll be able to tell whatever it is that you need to say, get it out, not to take it back with you no more.
Yeah.
The reason why we take trash out, because we don't want to bring it back in the house.
Right. Right.
You take trash out for it to be going, and you don't even worry about where he delivering it at. I don't even know where it's going. Just don't bring it back here.
Right.
But when the wind blow and what we had, come back in our yard, you looking around like, did anybody see that? Right? You hurry up, pick it up because the neighbors think you nasty. I'm honest. Stop allowing your trash to follow you home.
Yeah. Ooh, come on. Come on.
Stop allowing
your trash to follow you home. And I want to bring some context to what she just said, because that was very profound. And for those who have been in the space of ID and you have been under Dr. Joy, you understand what home represents, because Dr. Joy calls home yourself.
Yes.
So bringing trash back to your home means bringing trash back to you, meaning whatever you're putting out there, you're attracting that trash to you, unbeknownst to yourself. So stop attracting trash.
I got to write that one down.
I'm telling you, that hit. It hit because I understand what home is. And she's not talking about your physical home that you pulling up to. She's talking about the home that you never get to leave, because you only get one body. You only get one life. You are a spiritual being, and you are existing inside of this vessel called a body. So stop. Your mindset is what's attracting the trash. Your mindset is what's attracting the flies. Your mindset is what's attracting the gnats.
Woo, come on, somebody. Come on.
And so at the end of the day, if you can't take your trash out, meaning you can't purge, you haven't thought that you needed therapy and that you need to go and do something and offload all of this junk that you're carrying around, because you take you wherever you go. So don't come to my home and bring your trash, because I don't want it. And guess what? I got a nose like a dog, a hound dog. So I can smell the trash. I can smell it. I can smell it a mile away.
Listen,
Your
even
trash
they're trying to spray perfume on it, I still smell it.
I still smell it. It's funkier than it was before you sprayed the perfume.
Yes.
Ever tried to take a pool in the toilet and spray perfume after it and think you can come out and nobody knew what you did in there?
You hear me? You hear me? That's a whole lie right there. Stop attracting the trash. Listen,
Yes.
we are pulling it to us and we don't even realize.
Like a magnet.
And when you see somebody is pulling it to you, it's time for you to let that person go.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with the let go. I got a good let go spirit. You know, I'm talking about like good let go spirit.
Listen,
when I see you, we talked about this one time, right? We talked about this.
No, that's what I said. I was told a long time ago. I remember standing at Clinical in Los Angeles when AHSG was headquarters in Cerritos, California. I was standing lecturing, and one of my students said, "Ooh, Kai, your cutoff spirit is strong."
Wrong,
baby. To know Kai is to know that I'm all in when I love you. But baby, when you show me your trash, and after I done tried to take your trash out for you, and I keep having to take your trash out, and you keep stacking your trash up in front of me, I'm going to stop taking your trash out, and then I'm going to send you on the way.
You understand me? Listen, my sister's on here, Angie, she said, let go is real. She witnessed it. My let go is real because when I see you holding, because I watched something the other day where this guy jumped in the pool, right? He started drowning. He started drowning, and everybody thought he was playing at first because he playing this. And then all of a sudden, what he started doing was pushing the other guy down. Baby, you better learn to let go.
You gotta let go.
Person's drowning you.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to save them, and they drowning you.
They drowning you. You better learn to let go. You can't take. You take you everywhere you go. I didn't say you take everybody else wherever you go.
Yes, you take you everywhere you go.
So you better take
your stuff. That's
you
girl.
Look, somebody said we need a podcast because one thing about it, when we get on here, we tell the truth and nothing but the truth. So help us. Even look, this is not even on the screen. This on the phone when we talking. Right. This is the real. This is who you're gonna find on the phone because the truth shall set you free. There's nothing wrong with letting go because when you hold, I found myself holding on to people that been let me go. I'm steady holding on to them. I'm like, Lord, they ain't on the other end. Right. I thought they had me. No, they been let go.
But you know what they say? Iron sharpens iron is the truth, but trash builds more trash.
Listen,
you got to be careful what you allow in your space because just like iron sharpens iron, trash is just going to build more trash.
Let me tell you. Sometimes when I am out somewhere, right, and I see a trash can, before I even get home, I take the trash out of another trash can. Sometimes we allow it to follow us all the way home and take it out here. Sometimes you got to take that trash out in another place in a position.
Baby.
Let me tell you, I was leaving the salon the other day. It was raining. I meant to take the trash out. It was not that much in there. It got in my car. I said, oh no, it wasn't in there, the smelling up, but it was like paper and like sand strips. But I'm like, I'm about to bring this home. Right. So no, I took it. I wasn't gonna bring it all the way home because I was gonna travel 20 minutes from my salon to my house and bring trash here when it's already trash here that need to be taken out. Come on,
girl. But how about the people? How about the people? You just talking about one. You just about one drive home. How about the people that have piled? They keep taking the trash home with them year after year after year after year after year, and they just walk around with all of this trash.
And when you are in that place, there's nothing wrong with you finding someone who is filled with God that you can dump into, and they are going to help you take it out. Not dump on them, but dump into. So you can find that space when you're crying, when you're at your vulnerable space, when you're at that time when you just cannot seem. You need somebody that you can dump into that they can say, "Listen, I'm gonna build you back up."
Yes,
I got you, Mitch. I got
Absolutely.
you. Right? Don't dump on people that's already dumped out. You got to be somebody who's filled with spirit, filled with tenacity, filled with that mentalness that wants you to win.
Yeah.
Stop dumping on somebody who's already dumped.
Yeah. And again, that's why self-awareness is so important on so many levels because some of us don't even recognize that we're dumpers. Ooh. Right? Some of us don't even recognize that we're dumpers. And then we blame everybody else because we don't recognize that We're dumpers, and everybody ain't hating on you.
Ooh.
Everybody ain't hating on you. Everybody ain't hating on you now. So it's just old habits balancing it with new beginnings. You cannot take, that thing where even with your garbage disposal, when you think you're disposing of something, you ever hit that garbage disposal and that junk just like boom, and you like, ooh, all right, I need to put a limit down there to kind of balance this out because this garbage disposal is going trash. Is so everything got to be detoxed from now and then, right? So we need to really understand when it's time to go through that mental mindset detoxification so that we can purge so that all the old habits don't have to go because some things are just like staples, but other things are seasonal. So you need to understand your staple stuff versus your seasonal stuff so that you know how to cycle through old habits and new beginnings. And I'm not saying that you're going to do it effortlessly. You're not going to get stuck because if that's the case, we wouldn't need God. And he created us to need him. So it's understanding what you need, when you need it. And then when you don't understand, learning how to pray and ask God to shift and show you what you need so that you can move accordingly, right? Nobody is saying we got the handbook to life. We got the Bible that talks about all the things and all the stories, the parables and all the things. So it has been written, right? But we got to go and understand the stories. We got to know how to apply it to our lives. We got to then get in spaces with people who have gone before us and they understand what it looks like to build. They understand what it looks like to need people to latch on to when they need somebody to pour into them, because it's a circle. I was told that someone I know gave this analogy of A, B, and C friends. Your A friends are the ones that you can look to, that you glean from, that inspire you, that make you want to keep moving and growing. And then your B friends are the ones that they thugging it out with you. Like, we thugging it out together. We in this thing together. Girl, what you got going on? Yeah, I had that going on. And we tag teaming each other, inspiring each other. And then your C friends are the ones that you bringing along with you. And what we have to understand is the hierarchy, the order in which we are supposed to communicate with this tribe. Your A friends pour into you and you pour into your C friends. So that means that when stuff starts going awry and you in a pickle, you don't look to your C friend and vent down. You actually talking to the one that's thugging it out with you, saying, girl, this is hard. She's saying, girl, I know, but you got it. Then you look to your A friend that's your prayer warrior or the like, and saying, you got this. This is what happened to me. This is a part of the plan. You're going to have to come. This is how I navigated this. This is what I did. So A, B, and C, and they come full circle because it's always somebody before you that you follow, and it's always somebody behind you that you bring in. And that is the way this thing goes. It's a circle. It's a cycle. Ain't nothing new under the sun. You just got to understand who your A friends are, who your B friends are, and who your C friends are.
That's it.
End of the day. That is the cycle of the community. That is the cycle of life and how we move through things. Mitch, what you want to leave the people with tonight?
Well, listen, I was writing down God created cleaning. He created clarity. He created preserving, how to be seasoned and how to preserve. He created these things. So when you are in any of those positions and you can see clearer, understand it's because he created that for you to see it. Clarity is because he gave you understanding, preserving you for such a time as this. So everything that we're looking for, God, he has his fingerprints on everything that we have. It's time for you now to look at your situation and look to purge, find your balance, find your boundaries, find your let go, find your let in, find your re. It is time for you to do that. It's time now. I think Ebony said it's time, right? And time is something you can't get back. So stop wasting time. It's time now to resurface, rethink, resuscitate, revive, because God created all these things for you. So if that's you I'm talking to, don't second guess where you need to be at in September and October and September, whichever one you want to be in October. Just be in the building. But it's time, right, Kara? It's time. The time is now.
Yeah.
You can't get it back.
Yeah.
So stop wasting time. I
Yeah.
said on the post the other day, we always waiting on can and able, right? When I can and when I'm able to do it, when I can afford it, when I'm able to afford it, can and able will never come. And then what? You just wasted time.
Yep.
You just wasted time. Most millionaires spend money that they don't have.
Yep.
Seriously. Most
Yep.
millionaires became broke at least 4 times, but they kept getting back up because they don't have fear of losing. We so afraid we're gonna lose that we ain't even tried to see if you're gonna lose in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take that jump, when you say I'm invest, when you say I'm gonna be there, and I can put aside doing my eyelashes and do my own eyelashes, and I can put aside doing my nails and do my own nails. Put that aside and say, let me invest. Dania said it first last night. Let me see what I can live without, my wants and my needs.
Mm-hmm.
When you did that separation and said, I need to be in the seats to learn more. I need to be around like-minded people. I am lacking in my mind. My mind is not right. And I got to be right around the right people.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that, then you'll be a different person.
Yeah.
You'll be a different person because every space that you walk in, and every time I walked out of Houston, I have never left the same that I went in there. It was something I left behind, remnants that I left behind that I took with me that was even greater, right?
Yeah.
So when you are in a space like that, don't look for the old you.
Yeah.
Listen, that you see, I say my name is Victory because
Right.
we was born in victory. What's your name? Victory.
Yep.
What's your name? Winning. Really?
Right.
What's your name? Grace. Mercy. Change your name. It's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Change your name
Yeah.
and answer to what you are great at. What's your name? Mercy. Yep. Mercy and Grace. What's your middle name? Grace.
Yeah.
Abundantly. What's your
Yeah.
name? Overflow. People gonna think you crazy, but you are speaking it into existence. I am victory.
Yeah.
I was born in victory. It says it in 1 John 5:4.
Yeah.
That's what God said.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you walking in it?
Yeah.
Why are you second guessing and you putting a price tag on excellence? I don't put a price tag on excellence. If I want to go, I go. Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a way. But when I get there, I'm like, it was all worth it.
Yeah.
And I witnessed that in your space.
Yeah.
I witnessed that in your space. Right.
Likewise. Same with impulse.
Witnessed it. I felt it. I felt it. Like I told you, I walked in that room. I'm like, God, it's warm in here. Yeah. Felt it. Right?
Yeah.
But you had to be able to have that clarity. And God he had to purge me. That's why I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Clean out. He had to clean out everything that I could have bought with me. All the things I was going through, I could have bought that with me. He had to cleanse that out and say, nope. I will not allow you to bring that person that you're going through in that space right there.
Yeah.
So I need you to be revealed, right? I need you to see who you are. So you're not going to sleep, Mitch, because it's something you got to say that you're going to hear it yourself. When you play that video back over and I watch myself, because sometimes we don't like that. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like hearing myself. Like, I love your voice. I'm like, ugh, y'all don't understand my voice. Because it sounds different. And when we watch ourselves on film, like, go back and play it again. I'm like, Lord, I was really making faces, right? But it was the message.
Faces.
I do. It was the message. It was the message. I'm like, wow. And when you are sitting in a space, you don't even remember the words God gave you. Because I watched you. I watched you said, what did God tell me? I'm like, what? You said this and you said that. People have to remind you what you said because you be in a space that he said, I'm taking over. I got you.
Yeah.
And you harm in. And you see who you need to talk to. Be in the space. Be in the place. Because God is waiting on you. It's time out. Period. Period.
Get in the atmosphere. Be in the atmosphere. Mm. All you got to do is just be in the atmosphere. It's in the element. The dew is going to be all over you.
Right.
All you got to do is just you ain't got to do nothing. Just enter into the room. Enter into the room so that you can gain access. That's God said, just make the move.
Just make it.
Just make the move. Stop double dutching. Just make the move. And I'm saying this to the person that knows that they need to be in that space, either impulse or ID or both, because they both bring completely different elements for your elevation. And so coming to both will be a blessing for you. But if you can only make it to one, choose, because I'm going to be at both.
Listen.
Okay. I'm going to be at both. So meet me there. Meet me there. You know, Mitch, I want to
get a podcast.
Right. That's hey. Yeah, because we come cocked and loaded. And the reason why, y'all, that we come cocked and loaded is because we have walked through the fire. Like for me, it's me. Like when Mitch talked about the seesaw, I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna wrap it up. When Mitch talked about the seesaw, what I envisioned was me on both sides of that seesaw. And what's on both sides is my higher self is on one and my lower self is on the other. And we just playing teeter-totter. We going up and down and up and down. And every day I don't wake up to my higher self, y'all. Don't sit here and be fooled by my highlight reel on my social media timeline. I do not wake up to my higher self every day. Some days I have to say, Kai, I don't even know who this is right here.
Mm-hmm.
So day is not a decision-making day for you because you have stepped into your lower self. You walked out of the bed today and you have stepped into your lower self. So today you really should do less interacting with people and more coming to God to search yourself because you're off. And some days you don't even know why you off. You just wake up off. But that's where you need to search your subconscious. You need to be talking to God about the subconscious mind that runs 90% of your behavior. Because that is where the thing has you off in your subconscious mind. You've been triggered, right? And so you have to be honest with yourself and say, self, today is not the day for you to make decisions because you are half of yourself today. You are not your higher self, and you do not want to pay later for making decisions when you were not operating in your highest self. So you need to have several seats today. You don't make decisions and you don't really talk to people if you don't have to today, right? But identify when you're not really all the way at home, when the porch light is on but ain't nobody home. You gotta recognize that when the porch light on but ain't nobody home, ain't nobody answering because you tapped out today because something got a hold of you. Because what you gotta understand is that especially in the space of beauty, when you are coming in contact with so many different people, touching on so many different people, we are energetic beings. We vibrate, right? We are on a different frequency. Light and dark vibrates on different frequencies. And when you come in contact with a lot of darkness and you are of light, sometimes when you're unaware of those darker places that still reside in you and you don't operate at the forefront of those dark places, sometimes other people's darkness energetically get inside of you and trigger stuff in you that is not your stuff, and you're carrying it with you. So this is why before you go home and you interact with your families and things like that, you got to take that stuff off. You got to cover yourself before you go in, and you got to cover yourself as you're coming out, because some of the stuff that you're holding on to is not yours. It's other stuff that people have attached onto you, and you don't recognize that you need to be dipped in that oil in order for it to slide off of you. That oil that we were talking about earlier, right? So sometimes people are turbulent. The water is rocky. You got, deep waters with a whole lot of current going on underneath there, and they'll take you down with their stuff if you are not grounded enough. And even when you're grounded enough, sometimes it'll take you by surprise. But this is why you got to make sure that you stay covered in the oil, that you protect your anointing, and that you go to God with everything, because people will attach themselves to you, especially when you are a person of influence and they see that you're moving and they think that they can get stuff from you. They'll start attaching themselves to you. And so you got to be careful. Don't sleep on yourself.
That's it. That's it.
Gotta be careful. So this was a very, very, very good live. I really appreciate you coming into this space and dialoguing with me, Mitch. We do need a podcast.
Yes.
I appreciate all of this conversation because these are things that we talk about behind the scenes that we also wanted to come and have a public conversation with you about, because we want you to understand that we too go through some of the same things, but we have to have time out for ourselves so that we can unplug and we can be resuscitated. We can get that shock therapy that we need from the Holy Spirit to download in us and to resuscitate us so that we can come out and we can pour more into you all, right? So with that said, again, I thank you, Mitch. Listeners, I thank you guys for tuning in and dialoguing with us in the chat. If you're catching us on the replay, hey, I hope you enjoyed this live as much as we did. And this is Transformation Tuesday. So hopefully your lives were touched, transformed, or maybe you got to gnaw on it a little bit more. But hopefully you do not leave here the way that you came. We hope that you have a different perspective and have the most amazing rest of your week. We love you guys, and we hope to see you at Impulse and ID. Good night.
Love y'all.
I like to know why.
Because I want you to understand what's really happening with your clients. Your clients who are coming into you are not coming into you because they have hair loss. They think they are. But it is your job to change that conversation, for them to understand that this is not hair loss. This is your body speaking loudly to you through your hair. And I'm here to interpret the language that your body is speaking. Whatever it is that you've been called to be, you're going to be able to be that once you leave me. I'm going to empower you to speak to your doctor so that you can get the help that you need.
I am here. I'm coming to get all this knowledge because I am going to pour it out.
And I'm open and ready to move forward.
So that's why I'm here.
Mita aqui na Houston com Kai Smith, o vou pedindo uma imagem bonita mesmo, então me está experienciando algo mais bonito.
This is the beginning for you.
That was dope.